Hi, and welcome back to Guffs Weekly Podcast. I'm Javen.
And I'm Guff.
Guff, what are you doing?
I am clipping something, some marine dudes. I don't remember what they were called. I'm right now. I'm a ministerium. Yeah, ministerium priest.
So you're building models.
Yes, I'm building models.
We've been doing a lot of that lately.
Yep. Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit in the past. We've all kind of went into mini wargaming. I suppose wintertime activity.
I've always said it's a wintertime activity.
It's you don't want to go outside, so you're like, I guess we'll just do stuff indoors, and this is part of the indoor stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna finish up these models, and then I'm ready to do whatever.
Then you're ready to finally record.
Yep. Then I'm ready to record, but we're recording now. So
we're recording now, yeah. Let's talk about memes in games or games that have spawned memes.
Don't take my sweet roll.
Don't take exactly. I used to be an adventurer like you, and then
what?
I took an arrow to the knee.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh gosh, yes. Sorry, I forgot.
Or the Fusroda memes.
Yep.
Yeah. Skyrim spawned a plethora of memes.
I'd say a lot of
I reference them all the time too to this day. We were playing I think we were playing a tabletop RPG. I think it was Death Watch.
Yeah.
We were playing, and our ship got invaded by a bunch of warp creatures. And my Space Marine I was playing in game, I'm like, oh, the security in Whiterun is atrocious. If I was in charge of security, and like everyone's laughing.
Oh, nice.
How many times have you heard that feel, you know?
Yeah, quite a few. Quite a few.
And you know, it's just there's a lot of good meta humor or memes that have been spawned.
You know, we can go back a little farther though than Skyrim.
Oh, absolutely. One of the ones.
Let's go back to one of the original OG, like literally. I don't even know. I think maybe it was the beginning. Stop poking me.
Stop poking me.
Yeah, Warcraft 1.
Oh, when you
played the RTS, you start clicking on the dudes.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
You clicked on them more than a few times, the orc would get upset and say, "Stop poking me."
Yeah, that was a good one.
We used that for so many years, and every once in a while, you'll catch a Twitch streamer or a YouTuber or even just the person sitting around the store every once in a while. Stop poking me.
Yeah, stop poking me.
I know, yeah, you can say stop poking me if someone's literally poking you, but it's in that voice.
Or, God, I don't know how many times we've, like, been playing D&D or some game in the store, and, like, you're short on resources for something.
Yeah.
And, you know, someone's just, well, I think you just need to construct more pylons.
Yeah, exactly.
You must construct additional pylons.
From StarCraft.
Yeah, and, you know, there's some, or how many times have you, you know, ready to roll out? You know,
yeah,
hear the sound
jacked up and good to go.
Jacked up and good to go. Reaper ready. You know,
no, it's getting to be that those are so popular that even like mobile games are starting to steal I should say even mobile games. Starting to take those super popular memes and they put. I don't even know what you're doing there, but that's just
keep going.
Weird. Anyway, then they're starting to put them, but reword them a little bit.
Well, that's
so they're not like trying to take trademarks, but they're definitely using the verbiage.
Well, there's also the idea of like paying homage to something.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
you know
of course.
I mean? Like,
yeah.
So like, or an Easter egg, if you will.
Yep.
Easter eggs are another great one.
Oh jeez.
How many games have you played that have had Easter eggs in them?
A lot, because I played Bethesda and Blizzard games.
Oh yeah, and Bethesda has tons. I was actually I was chatting with an older family member the other day, and she was talking about Edgar Allan Poe because we were talking about reading Edgar Allan Poe.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, do I have a story for you? Well, in Fallout, in Fallout 4.
Yep.
This is where it takes place, but a long time ago in the era of Edgar Allan Poe, he wrote a story called The Cask of Amontillado. And it's supposed to be this super rare wine.
Right.
Right? It's this like top shelf rare wine. And I think it was an Italian wine, but the story was set in France, I want to say. It might have been Italy, I can't remember.
Right.
Anyways, so this guy's at a masquerade party and a guy approaches him and says, "Hey, I have this Amontillado wine. Do you want to have some?" Because he's like a connoisseur of sort.
Right, wine connoisseur guy.
And the original character's like, "Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, where's it at?" And he says, "Oh, it's in the basement. It's in the cellar down in." And so they start going and traveling, and they're going like really far down to the cellar, and they end up in the catacombs underneath the city.
Okay.
And he says, "Oh yeah, it's right there. It's right there." And anyway, so this guy goes through this doorway, and they start drinking this Amontillado wine. He was already tuned up pretty good to start with, but he starts drinking this wine. Well, then the other guy starts laying bricks in the doorway, and the guy's like palsied up. He can't move because he's
Right.
so drunk, and
Oh
it
no.
was poisoned and stuff. And
Oh yeah.
apparently he had like slighted this guy, or it
Right.
was like he had done something wrong to this guy. I can't remember the whole story. Long story short, this guy bricks him up and just walks away.
Right.
And so the guy starves to death, dies
Right.
behind that. Well, in Fallout 4, when you go into one of the forts, there's a mission
Yep.
where there's like a crack in a wall.
Yep.
And if you throw an explosive item at it, or it might even be a prompt to break the wall.
Right.
You break the wall, you walk in, and there's a general, and the general's name is the name of the character
Right.
from the, it says like their name.
Yep.
And if you look around the room, there's a bunch of crates with bottles, and it's all Amontillado wine. And I'm like,
Nice.
oh, dude, that's
Yeah.
such a good reference.
Yeah.
That's such a good Easter egg, And it's like a super highbrow, like, if you've read Edgar Allan Poe, you get it. But like,
Right.
I love when games do stuff like that.
Yeah. There's oh man, and some of these companies are really good. I would say that probably the biggest two are Blizzard and Bethesda.
Bethesda's very good at it.
Blizzard's very good too. Like you play World of Warcraft. The only reason I say it is I played it a lot of hours of it. But they used to put so many Easter eggs in
Mm-hmm.
that part of the fun was just going out and seeing what the hidden gems were.
Yep.
And I don't know. In fact, it's bad enough that World of Warcraft, I mean, has its own. We're talking memes. I mean, Baron's Chat. You ever heard of that?
You mentioned it a few times.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's ever played World of Warcraft, you say Baron's Chat, they just immediately know. What I mean, well, like everybody else is like, what's Baron's Chat? It's just where everybody went, and Chuck Norris jokes were told by the thousands in that Baron's Chat because it was the worst region in the whole game to play in.
Yeah.
And so basically people just went there to chat.
Gotcha.
It was just terrible.
It was a giant server-wide chat.
Yeah, it was just a server-wide chat room, and it was just, oh my lord, it was bad.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones that in World of Warcraft specifically, I know the term Kek, K-E-K, comes up a lot.
You were just telling me.
And I was just telling you about
I never
this.
really was paying attention.
From my understanding, it was Horde Chat. If you typed LOL, it would appear as Kek.
Yeah,
that
chat. Makes sense, but I never really.
And then that's why
Horde,
because there's like emotes on Twitch that are like Kek W,
right,
and stuff like that.
Makes sense now.
It's really funny.
It's hilarious.
Also, I remember the day of when memes were first starting to propagate, and become like collected en masse. There used to be websites that you could go to and just like scroll.
Oh, yep.
And then there was like a cadre of like staple memes, if you will, of like these are the defined memes.
Right.
And it used to be like the why you know guy, and it's a guy like holding his hands up and it's like why you know do this or whatever. Yep. Or the troll face is another or the scumbag Steve hat.
Yeah.
Like there's so many, and it became a language almost.
Oh, it is a language.
Like a sub language.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and I think that exclusivity of it was a big draw to it as well.
I find that. Okay, so this is really sad, but I found myself using it in real life situations where I've talked to somebody, like especially when I'm in the store, if it's just me, and say a new person comes in, they're like, just checking the store out, seeing where you're from, what's going on.
Yeah.
I'll just mention something, just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Just to see if they know. And if they don't, no big deal. You just move on.
Yeah.
You just throw one of those little things out there. If they catch on,
oh my god,
you're like, holy crap, this guy's hardcore nerd.
I do that all the time because me and another buddy of mine were big Twitch viewers for many years. I still am. And I use a lot of Twitch emotes when I'm talking. I'll be like Omega Lol or Hyper Dan's game, or like I'll just reference Twitch emotes because I know what they look like, and it's just like it's almost a higher form of expression because like there was actually I was listening to a broadcast. It was a documentary, and I think it might have been on public radio. I can't remember where it was from, but they were talking to some kids, some younger millennials and some Gen Zers, some Zoomers, if you will, and they were saying like, what do these things mean? These because they're sending gifts to each other
Oh, right.
and pictures to each
Right.
other,
Oh,
and they're having
jeez.
entire conversations without even saying words.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And it's like that idea to like have, how like
I do.
you hear about how like words like other countries languages like German is a great example.
Mm-hmm.
How they have specific words for a specific feeling.
Yep.
And like you can't express it in English. Like,
Right,
oh, there's
because
no way
the
to
English
say it
doesn't
in
have
English.
that word. Yeah.
We have it's like a whole paragraph of explanation, but they have one word to describe it. Ennui is a great example.
Okay.
In French, I believe it's from French, but it's like ennui is it's a feeling.
Right.
But it's like in English, where like it takes so many words to explain what it means.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's speaking of that, I have some relatives. Well, my grandfather was from Sweden, and the Swedish people actually have a very interesting greeting. That there's no really American word for it
Okay.
because it means so much. It means hello. It means I love you. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
It means all kinds of stuff.
Can cover a lot of
Because
stuff.
think of how you're presenting it to someone,
Yeah.
and they just walk up to you and just do that to you. Just like,
Yeah.
you're my cousin. What do you know?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But to us, it
But
means
yeah, to
something-
me, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And they explain what it all means. And
Yeah.
so the whole meme culture is kind of like that. There's
Yeah,
just
we're-
things that
And you can extrapolate meaning from something. That's
Right.
the other thing.
yeah.
But it's a really interesting, like, I don't know, would you call it like a cultural / psychological
No,
phenomenon?
it's definitely
Like,
because I know my youngest when she was talking. Okay, she played Club Penguin a lot.
okay.
Club Penguin, it was very, very strict on the things you could actually type.
Okay.
Like very few words.
Yeah.
You could barely have a real conversation in real life with these words. And so they found ways to the whole language. There's a whole secret coded
Yeah.
language in there. And one day I was sitting there haphazardly just watching because I was just curious. She's over there giggling her butt off. I'm like, what? What is she giggling for? All I see is just gibberish.
Yeah.
So I just kind of sat back in my chair with my headphones on, like I was listening to music or something.
Yeah.
And I know maybe I shouldn't. But her desk is like right in front of mine. It's
Yeah.
like right here.
Yeah.
So I just sat there and watched. I was like, what are you? So I'm like, all right, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What kind of nonsense are you trying to get by your dad? She goes, well, Dad, I have to type this in because if I type this in, they'll think I'm swearing.
Yeah.
Because you type 2 words in that could spell another word. So,
Oh, so they're getting around with the profanity filter.
right, but they weren't swearing at each other.
Right.
They weren't using bad words. But if you put 2 normal words, say whatever or something, I don't know.
But that could spell a bad word.
Right, that could spell a bad word, you would automatically get flagged.
Interesting.
And so they would come up with ways, and it just looked like they were Chinese, Japanese script. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you typing? Oh, well, this means this is funny. And I'm like, can't you just use that? No, we're not allowed to use the LOL acronyms or the emojis and stuff like that because that's all. So they found different ways to break words up too. And I'm like,
that's kind of crazy because like this is a really
whole new language.
This is a really weird comparison to draw, but it's kind of like there's a language called Esperanto.
Okay.
And it's basically like some guy in the I think 20s or 30s
right
came up with it, and it's basically a blending of every major language. Like it's a super crazy thing.
Right.
And a lot of people in I want to say Poland, and during World War II spoke it, and a lot of Jewish people spoke it, and basically like they were speaking it in the camps, the death camps,
right,
and like
exposed that way the Germans didn't know what they were saying,
right, and so what would happen is the Germans were told to basically like reprimand anybody, kill anybody that was using it.
Oh, jeez.
The Nazis, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Not the Germans, the Nazis.
Yeah, no. Since like 10% of our population
Yeah,
Germans that listen to us, please don't take offense to that.
Anyways, so what they do is they'd say it was Italian.
Oh,
but it's like that idea of like you have to like adapt and
just
use language in a different way. So like is basically the question I'm asking is meme speak a language at this point?
Its own language at some point.
And there's different dialects of it for sure.
Oh no, for sure, because different like Twitch gamers speak completely different than YouTubers.
Exactly.
They all have their own language.
Right. So it's like but it's all like a meme language. And
yeah.
like you can kind of infer what the meaning is.
Yeah.
if you speak it. So it's like almost like sister
Right.
languages, right?
Yeah,
It'd be like a Norwegian person talking to a Swedish person. They could get most of what they're saying,
right,
but there's some like
still some little nuances that were
exactly
just like, what does that really mean?
it's it's kind of exciting, honestly. Like
It's interesting.
and I don't know, maybe years from now
Maybe
they'll do
aliens invade.
studies of how to teach people languages, and like this will be the way to do it. Where like
Yeah,
just,
instead of Klingon, it'll be
yeah,
here's
or
Twitch
High
language.
Valerian,
Yeah, High Valerian will be. This is Twitch language. This is YouTube social media speak.
yeah.
It's crazy to even think that, but that's kind of how we go.
Because like at some point you get so many slang words and so many different nuanced meanings to something,
Right.
that it does become its own language. Like it literally morphs into its own language.
And just to think, do you think the people who like were coming up with these games and these funny little things, you think they thought that this is what was going to happen, or do you think they were just trying to be funny at the time?
Right. What it probably was is it was like, you know, when you're a kid and you have a secret language with your friends of maybe a few words to mean something.
Yeah, that way you can say stuff around your parents. And
right. And
the beat.
Exactly. And it's like, but with the advent of the internet and the speed of communication now, it's like these have exploded so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I'm an avid internet user.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
But I get lost in translation sometimes because I'm like, there's just so much.
Which is funny because you're considerably younger than me. And you have considerable more knowledge in this stuff than I do. But like, even you, like, I bet you, even if you sat down and watched my daughter talk, and she's only maybe 8 years difference between you.
I think it's 10.
10 years difference, but it's still enough gap that if you've seen her and her friends, which you've met some of them,
yeah,
you heard them talking in their freaking stupid language that they created for themselves, because they all been friends since like Pokemon.
Right, yeah.
The Disney, whatever that, Club Penguin days.
Yeah.
They went through that. They went through Roblox to. They can speak a little more clearly now.
That's like
they still have words, and I'm just like.
I had a roommate who I played games with. Well, not a roommate, but they lived above me, and we played games all the time, D&D and all this other stuff.
Right.
Him and his girlfriend lived above me, and they come and play D&D and hang out, do whatever.
Right.
But like, they're maybe 6 years younger than me, 5 years younger than me. And they were throwing out slang that I had no freaking idea what it meant. And I'm like, dude, I'm 25.
Like, why would you?
How do I not know this?
Right.
Like,
yeah, it's crazy. It is.
Like,
it's absolutely
the speed at which it's accelerating and morphing is just, it's almost like it's like a rapid mutation. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it won't be long because we live in a part of the country where they make movies about our speech up here. And so if you hear, oh, you betcha, yeah.
You betcha.
Fargo immediately comes out, right?
Up north here.
Everybody's heard of Fargo.
That's where we talk about up here and there.
But that's pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
But every zone or district has its own. Every social media platform has its own.
Yeah, it's like
so many dialects now.
It's like its own secluded island that develops its own language.
What are the people that go to college to study languages are called? They're called
philologists.
Okay, yeah, right. They must be just going nuts right now.
Or anthropologists.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, anthropology is the study of culture and
okay, but same concept though.
But philology, yes.
How many cultures how has culture changed?
But here's the thing, like this has been happening for years.
Right.
Look at Tolkien. J.R.R. Tolkien?
Yeah.
He literally made his own language several times over, derived from an ancient dialect of Finnish.
Right.
And Icelandic, I think, or something like that. I'm probably wrong.
Whatever the language is, yeah.
But it was some ancient Scandinavian language that he used to create Elvish, Orcish, and all that other stuff. Like, it's just crazy, man. People have been doing this for years.
Well, the difference is, though, and I'm not dissing Tolkien at all, or Tolkien, or whatever you want to call it, is he did it with intent. I think these other languages, like the Club Penguin language, the Twitch language, is literally because one, I don't know what the reason is, because just when you're, say, on Discord or not Discord, well, even Discord, but Twitch, and you just have your ways of communicating that don't require full-blown sentences.
Here's a great example of like of a Discord one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, just at me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. There you go. Right.
If I said that to someone
at the grocery store, they'd be like,
"Yeah," but like,
what are you talking about?
Right. I could tell my father. I'd be like, "Yo, yeah, oh yeah, you want to be up later? Just at me." He'll be like, "What?
What are you
your dad?"
No, yeah, he would He'd be like, son,
He's like,
go chop some wood.
I'm gonna get the demons out of your soul.
Right.
It's like that episode of King of the Hill where Bobby starts talking all funky, and
yeah.
Hank's like, I don't even know what he's saying anymore.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
It's just weird to think that like
Oh.
it's happening so fast.
Yeah, and so many different things.
Because I'm still in my 20s, and like normally you should be like, like I should be with the times, right?
You should,
like,
right, you would think so. You know, and I know I'm older, and I should not understand any of this, and I don't for the most part. I just understand what everybody tells me.
But it's crazy how the language of gaming and gaming culture has spawned its own memes and stuff.
I've enjoyed it though. I won't lie.
Oh, it's fun.
Like when I realized that my daughter was using Club Penguin code to get around language filters and potentially say things that upset me. Part of me was like, I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good job, kid. You're thinking outside the box. Only because it's my daughter. Because my son, I've been mad as hell because I know he was just trying to look for something he shouldn't be looking for. No, I would have been proud. I was proud of him too because they did their own things, but it wasn't nearly on the scale that it is now.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's just so quick and there's so many evolving so fast. It's so hard to keep up with. It'd be interesting to write a whole book about that.
That's a great topic. So if any of you aspiring investigative journalists
there you go.
Need a topic, there you go. The evolution.
You can solve that problem.
Yeah.
You got parents across the world.
Well, honestly, even if it's not even like solving a problem, it's like
just keeping up.
I'd like to just have like a collection of statistics on it.
Oh gosh.
You know what I mean?
No, that's like, crazy.
You know, like one of the streamers I watch, his most used emote was like 30% of all chats or 20% of all chats in his channel.
Oh jeez.
It was an emote.
That's crazy.
But like everybody in that group that goes in there uses that emote to say hello.
Okay, so
it means like, hey, what's up? I'm here.
Right.
But it also is like an exclamation of excitement. We do it whenever anybody subscribes. Like,
oh man,
it's like an identity sort of thing.
So if you're a new guy and you go into this thing and you're like, what is going on in here?
Yeah, you'll walk in.
Language. Don't worry about it.
You'll just see a wall of emotes. Like,
but no, I've been there. I've literally been on people's watching their Twitch streams and just like,
it's a wall of emotes.
What is going on? Why am I not understanding anything that's going on?
Yeah.
Well, there's some language there that obviously they know what's going on, but I don't. So
it's really cool too because I've actually gone into like French speaking streams or German speaking streams or English, you know, just a language that I don't speak.
Right.
And I can gather what's happening just from the emotes that are strolling by.
Jesus.
It's hilarious.
It's like crazy.
It's wild to think that, you know.
That is.
I don't grasp obviously what they're saying or the full part, but I get the mood of the room from
just
the emotes.
by the emotes. That's interesting.
It's kind of like music in a way, where like you can convey a mood just by like what you're playing, you know. Like,
yeah, if you ever listen to Rammstein.
Yeah, if you listen to Rammstein, you know
the German people out there.
Yeah, you know that someone's rocking out or they're angry, you know.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
they're either
sure the Germans are like, wait, no, that's not what it is.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah.
You can get the mood.
Yeah.
Du hast is not a nice word. It's not a. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, no, I like this conversation. This is
yeah, it's kind of an interesting topic, right?
Right.
Because it's such a like
it's a whole culture. It's
yeah, there's a lot you could say about it. There's also not a lot you can say about it.
Yeah, no, you know, there's this guy who messages me probably once every month or every week or something. He doesn't come in the store as much as he used to, but he still sends me a meme now and then. And I'm like, what does it mean? Why are you sending me this?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, oh, so not I think his whole goal is to see if I can figure it out.
Yeah, it's like
and so then I do, and then every once in a while I'll get this congratulations, and I'm like, why are you congratulating me? I don't know. And one day it occurred to me, so I'm like, so are you congratulating me because I'm actually figuring out what you're trying to tell me? He's like, probably.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Dog, why are you doing that to me, man? Yeah. So. It's interesting stuff, and it's been a very interesting. I'm happy I'm at that age where I was a young man, and I like I say I brought this up many times in the past. My mother was defined. definitely not wanting to let me and my brother not let us fall behind in technology, 'cause she knew. For whatever reason, she just knew. She never told us she knew, but I know she knew because
Right.
she pushed it kind of on us a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was video games or all that stuff, she kind of just pushed that. She not pushes, but she made sure we had access to it.
Right.
And so I've always kept up with it. I've always let like a lot of kids, a lot of parents are like, my kid's not getting a phone until they're 15 years old. Oh, bull crap. Bull crap.
Yeah.
Because if your kid doesn't get a phone until 15, you might as well grow up in the outer boundaries of Canada and be Eskimos. Even they have phones at 15 now.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, there's no way your kids are gonna keep up with modern day.
Yeah, and you're honestly you're hindering their social growth at that point.
Yeah, because right now, when I was a kid, social growth was going outside playing until dark, coming in, blah blah blah. That was our social time. And then as you as a kid, there was still some of that. I'm guessing
Quite a bit of that, yeah.
Right,
and that's a lot of our the area that we grew up in.
But I mean, there was probably a little more hanging out with video games at a buddy's house and playing that. See, I didn't have a lot of that because when I was a kid, there wasn't a whole lot of video games yet until I was a little bit older.
Yeah.
To my late teens, then there were video games starting to come into play. But and now, like I was one of those parents too. At one point, I was like, man, my kids, I don't want them to have phones and technology. But then I thought to myself, holy crap, they're going to be so far behind every other kid. So then I just like, no, you know what? With my son, I'm just like, no, he played video games with us, and my daughter plays video games with us. And even today, my son, obviously, he's been out of the house for many years now. Still plays video games with us on a regular basis.
And he still plays video games with you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. He still plays video games with me on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And I can speak his language still, and I don't feel like he's been cheated. You know? And I feel like now my grandson, working on getting him a computer and getting him into some video games. And he's only 7, but he knows how to use his little fancy watch thing. I don't know how to use that thing.
Oh man, you give a kid like an iPad or a smart, yeah, they're gonna learn. They're gonna know how to work it better than you are.
It's crazy.
But they're just so intuitive, and they're not afraid to like
push things that you
push things and figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been it's been really good. And I take that same thing with the memes. I just try to keep up the best I can.
Yeah, no,
you really need to, and it's fun.
I mean, I'm slowly becoming an old man at this point now because I'm falling
so hard to keep up, man.
I'm gonna eventually end up being that. Oh, get off my lawn.
Well, you know, there was this. I can't think of the name of the guy, and I'm gonna look it up one day. But there was a scientist that I was this scientist. I don't remember his name though. He wasn't old. He was a newer, modern day guy. He might have been. I'm not gonna guess. But maybe it was Neil deGrasse Tyson. Maybe. So maybe it could be him. And so you might know this.
Okay.
But you always hear people and old people say it. Time seems to fly back faster when you get older.
Yeah.
And somebody asked this guy, why does this happen like that? Why does the human feel like my days are shorter than, say, a 5-year-old's? You know, when a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old goes to school, oh, I know when I was in school, that clock couldn't spin. Yeah, oh my gosh.
60 seconds.
It'd be like, 6
hours. Yeah.
It felt so long, and it was years till graduation.
Yeah.
It felt like a lifetime. And
now that's like
that was yesterday. It's like, oh, that was a decade gone. Yeah. It's like, holy crap. And he said it's because when you're in the 0 to 18-year-old range of life, your brain is learning so much.
Yeah.
That your brain is always processing stuff, so it feels like everything is slow.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything is slow.
Your cognitive function's on overdrive.
Right, it's on overdrive constantly. When you're sleeping, it feels like you never get enough sleep because your brain's still trying to process everything it's seen that day. It's all new to your brain. A 3-year-old's brain still has millions of things to process.
Yeah.
Where you get to a guy that's 100 years old, every time he blinks, it's a day gone by.
Yeah.
Because his brain has nothing new to process.
Yeah.
He's only... But I feel like with this way this technology is going, I don't feel like... Time's still flying by pretty fast, don't get me wrong. But I have noticed that with all this new stuff I'm learning, I'm having problems remembering all this new stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think my brain is literally like, whoa, dude, we're past that point of life when you don't need to learn all this new stuff. Stop. You've survived. You've made it to adulthood. But it was really interesting how that views. And I think that's how, like you were saying, kids learn so quick, because our brains are in that mode, like suck it in, you know.
Well, you know, this kind of weird and off topic what we're talking about now, but it's relevant to a certain degree. It's a natural conversation. I've noticed this in dogs. I've had many dogs throughout my life.
Right.
And when they're puppies,
Yep.
any creak, bump, horn honk, wind blowing, mosquito farting,
Right.
they're barking, they're alert.
Yeah, they're constantly.
Because they don't know what it is.
Right.
They don't have that information processed.
Yep.
Now you get to my 8-year-old, 10-year-old dog.
They're like, I don't care.
You could drive a vehicle through the garage, and she'd be like, "Look up, maybe look up."
Oh, Dad drove through the garage again.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's nothing to worry.
Whatever, he's done it before. It's fine.
But they hear a chipmunk chirp.
Oh yeah.
Oh, boom, they're white.
Right.
Because they can tell the difference.
Yeah. Right.
You know, they know what. They have that information stored now.
I think that's actually pretty relevant to the memes because the understanding of it, like we were talking, that's relevant. It's just in a dog way. Yeah. It makes sense because that's how dogs work. Yeah. That's how things work. It's just.
So, what's your favorite meme then? We'll end with that. What's your favorite meme that you've experienced? What can I put a picture up of or make reference to, and you'll always like at least a giggle or a chuckle?
Probably Stop Poking Me.
Stop Poking.
Yeah, because that's a Warcraft thing, and that was it. Only really not became popular. I mean, there's still people use it, you know, and there's still memes out there you can find saying it. Maybe some people won't understand it because they didn't play the games back then. Yeah. But to me, that's always going to be one that you walk in and say, "Stop poking." I'm just going to be like, okay, well, why? How about you?
I think mine's from Age of Empires.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's a lot of good ones there too.
And I think my favorite one is either the guy going, "It is good to be king."
Oh, yeah.
Or the "All hail, king of the losers."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's
you play either one of those sound clips, and I'm just dead.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then and then in real life, the one meme that will always get me just dying laughing, like giggling like a little kid, is the shitty flute.
Oh yeah,
that my heart will go on.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god,
that's a good. Yeah.
I can't handle that one. That just ruins me every time.
Yeah, I just watched a movie with that in it, or a TV series, where they had a clip of that.
Okay.
And it was like it's in a movie. Like,
oh, it's transcended.
No. It's literally transcended to a movie.
It's gone from meme to mainstream.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, anyways, thanks for hanging out with us on this wild conversation we've had today.
Yeah.
I guess we'll catch you next time.
Till next time.
See ya.